all over the world, there are groups of souls who, even though they may have their inner struggles, have said to themselves and to God, I want to forget your world, and I want to dedicate the rest of my life to finding reality or God.
When I first came on the path, there was something Guruji said that sort of struck me. He said that it was inconceivable for him to give God a second place in his life. God is everything for us, and it's not like you can't do that out in the world, but here the environment is so conducive, thank you.
It's hard to pick just one thing that I love about this life. I think the main thing is that it's so focused. Everything about every part of the day is all going in the same direction. Everything's of God.
The postulant training lays the foundation for the monastic life. Everything is very structured. There is a time for meditation, for study, for introspection, even physical exercises such as hatha yoga and so on. The idea is that they carry that backbone of balanced routine when they move on to the larger community.
When a nun has been at the Passion Ashram for approximately 2 years, she takes her first formal vow, which is the novice vow, and joins the larger community. And that means she joins the rest of the nuns in serving Master's worldwide work. So she's swept up into a lot more activity and service. However, there is the novice program, and novices live in a beautiful house. They have a senior brahmacharini living with them, and they still have their group study and meditations. What they learned as the foundation at the Passion Ashram is simply carried over. Counseling those who have just come from the Postulant Ashram and are now in the novice program is an absolute joy, because I see how I felt as a postulant and then I had those challenges as a novice. But mostly it's just to be in their presence and to share this life.
I was very nervous and sad to tell my mom that I was entering the ashram, because I knew my decision was going to impact her tremendously. And among many things, I said to my mom, Mom, I also want to live a fulfilling life and be happy. But her answer was just heartbreaking, because she said, I trust you and I am grateful because God has permitted me to enjoy you all this time. But yeah, I have been so blessed to see how Master has taken care of my parents in so many miraculous ways, that that's his promise, that he will take care of our family and in a way that is just overwhelming.
I have always appreciated that from the very beginning of our lives and throughout, each nun has a spiritual counselor.
Your counselor is of great support in the ashram. She's your friend, she's your confidant, your example. She helps you to meet all the challenges that you face here in the ashram. She gives you always understanding and compassion, and she wants the highest benefit for you.
In serving as a spiritual counselor, you're partly mother, partly friend, but at the same time you can't interfere too much because Master is guiding them. And so you're just almost like a cheerleader. You want them to get the most out of the life. You want them to be free within themselves to respond to what Master is trying to do with them, the way he's trying to help them.
After convocation, I came here to the Mother Center and volunteered for a few weeks. Spending time here with the nuns was the defining moment for me. Experiencing their joyous everyday life of meditation and rite activity, seeing how they strived to live Master's ideals of working together with love, harmony, kindness, and humility, there was no turning back. I knew I had come home.
The defining moment for me to become a nun was when I felt that great calling from Master. And this was a moment that I will never forget. I had a beautiful large picture of Master, the last smile. And I stood in front of the picture, and at that moment, for the first time, the thought came to my mind, become a nun. And I was showered with such love and joy, which I have never felt before.
I was quite happy and satisfied with how my life was going before I entered the ashram. I really wasn't thinking of the monastic life per se, but something changed when I started practicing Kriya and really working on deepening my meditations and my relationship with God. He started becoming more real to me. And there came a point where I just knew I wanted to give my life to Him completely.
Before I entered the ashram, I carefully restudied the chapter Years in My Master's Hermitage in Autobiography of a Yogi, and I thought I was signing up for a life of strict discipline and training, and I felt ready for it. I wanted to know God in this life at all costs, even if it meant suffering. What I never expected was that it would be such a joy-filled and joyous life.
Every aspect of our life here is so conducive to deepening our loving relationship with God. We spend the days inwardly talking to Him, asking His guidance, serving Him, loving Him, and it's just so fulfilling for the soul. Spiritual sisters are such beautiful examples that inspire us because of their God-reminding qualities, and we support and strengthen each other on the path.
We are from 25 different countries, we have different backgrounds, and we come from different walks of life.
This bond of sisterhood is so sincere, and I truly feel Master's presence in each of my sisters.
We learn from our sisters, but what we bring forth more and more is that divine uniqueness that God placed just in us.
The spiritual life is like swimming upstream, and so the monastic life, you're going up that stream, but rather than swimming on your own, it's like you're in a boat. You're all together, and the Master's at the helm, and it's the spiritual effort of each devotee that sort of rows that boat and keeps it going forward.
We share this deep divine love and friendship that eases the challenges on this journey towards God.
The vibration of those great direct disciples and their example. Shri Gyana Mata, Daya Mataji, Mrinalini Mataji. So their example really helps me too.
in the ashram, meditation and service just go hand in hand. They complement one another so perfectly, because in meditation we dive deep into that presence of God within, and we gather all the love and joy and peace of that communion with God. And then when we serve, we have that opportunity to pour that out to others and to give that to serving our Guru's work.
There are currently 4 different ashrams that the nuns reside in. I serve at our Greenfield ashram in Front Royal, Virginia. Greenfield's magical. It's beautiful. The power of God in nature is overwhelming. It's very alive. It's vibrant.
Recreation is an essential part of living a balanced life in the ashram because it gives us vitality and health and relaxation for the body and the mind. And that in turn helps our meditation and our service. Master really encouraged the devotees to recreate, and he liked to say sometimes that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, or a dull girl, in this sense. And so he encouraged them to exercise regularly and to go out sometimes into nature and into these uplifting places where devotees could enjoy being in God's beauty and being together in that divine fellowship. We have a competitive spirit, but we sort of enjoy too making up our own rules, what we call nuns rules, in the sense that usually in volleyball, if one team serves and the other team misses the ball, then the team that served gets the point. But for us, we give the other team the point and we give them the ball to serve also. So we have a more competitive, but in sort of a nun fashion.
Even when we get busy, I find it so much easier here to lead a balanced life.
Divine Mother, spread thy mantle of peace, over all the earth, that the people and leaders of all nations, may learn to live together, in true peace, and divine harmony. Let us raise our hands and chant Om for world peace.
One of our deepest vocations is to pray deeply, because it, as Guruji says, it goes deep into the heart of the vibrations and harmonizes on that deep level of thought and creates harmony, creates goodwill, creates positive results in the world. So we may not necessarily see what we're doing, but it is a powerful force.
We care about our members. When we're asked to pray, we take that deeply. Our members are part of us. It's Master's expanded worldwide family, and it's very dear to our hearts.
When I was thinking about entering and going through the process of, talking with the nuns, one of my biggest concerns was, will they take me? Am I good enough for this life? And what I found was, nobody expects perfection. The only thing that's really important is that I was willing to change.
I always remember what Dayama said, it's all about love. It's all about being in love with God. And if you have that, everything else will fall into place.
It was beautiful when I entered, and it just continues to get more so. Over the years, it deepens.
There is no other life that can be so fulfilling, so meaningful as the spiritual path.
One senior sister once told me when I was a postulant, she said, this life, it has a joy that increases with the years. And in my little experience, I can say that this is true for me too. It's a joy that increases with the years.